This is the Hohem N7 and it's the best gimbal ever made. And yes, I'm wearing a pajama. Yo, what's up? You're watching Ray Studios. I'm Gabi and this is the N7 review. Quick disclaimer here, this isn't a paid sponsored video. This is gonna be nothing like some of these infomercial style video reviews that you probably see about the N7. I actually have some constructive criticism. With that out of the way, let's do a quick unboxing and take a look at the design of the N7. This came in a box within a box within a case. In that case, we have safety guide, quick guide, and guarantee. Oh great, look, another box. In it, we have a C to C cable for charging your smartphone while using the gimbal and a C to A cable for actually charging the gimbal. We also have a stand and of course, here is the gimbal that comes with the AI already attached to it. I gotta say, when it comes to design, this is actually beautiful. There is so much to like about it. For example, how they do these logos here, black on black. So you don't feel like you're a walking advertisement, like some other companies that will do red on black. So they get more attention to doing branding in their products that actually to deliver a nicer product. They do that here also on the back where they say ISTD N7 and basically here also in the back as well. The logo is very small and black on black. They also do have this orange accent that give a lot of character. I love the design on this thing. Another little detail here is the handle is kind of rubberized, but just barely rubberized, so it doesn't feel like too sticky or anything like that. Little detail here on the design, these groups on a wave pattern that makes it looks very unique. They have these groups as well here on the focus wheel, and I'm gonna say that looks just very nice. They make very good use of the space for this gimbal because, to be honest, it's not really that big, even so it can hold a lot of weight. To be precise, 500 grams, which is basically maybe twice as heavy as the heaviest smartphone in the market today. I got fully dressed and out for testing the Hohem N7. So as you can see, it is a very beautifully designed gimbal, but why? I mean, either you shoot with something like an iPhone or an Android phone. This is the Pixel 8, this is the iPhone 15 Pro. Both these phones can shoot video very stable. Why will you buy an stabilizer? Well, I can give you a whole number of reasons, but the main reason I believe is the AI tracking on the Hohem N7. It is really next level. So the AI tracking on the Hohem N7 is really next level. You can activate it from the screen, but you can also activate it with a simple gesture, and it's that quick. It only takes literally a second. And once it's activated, it really holds on to you. So I can walk naturally, get closer, get farther away. I tested out, I mean, I don't have much space, but I tested out, it goes up to like somewhere around 8 to 10 meters, which is a really good distance. And I know what you're thinking. If you try to lose it, let's say for action, and you can see it's just nearly impossible like to lose it. And what if you shoot it in a place with too many people? Look, I have my friend Stefano, cameraman. We both from Argentina, kind of looks the same, right? We're both white guys. And I'm gonna get behind him. See, he get confused and thinks Stefano is me, but it doesn't get confused. We pass around, get behind me. We shuffle each other around as many times as we want. It's always on me. It's always on me. Come here, I'm gonna get behind you for a while. And then you go. And they stay on me, it's incredible. Very good job, Hohem, very good job. But it's not all about tracking. This is a gimbal aimed at professionals. Professional smartphone filmmakers, they're most likely to shoot with filters. As you can see here, this is like maybe the most minimalist filter case you can buy. This is the Telecine, I review it. You can click somewhere in there, check it out. With the filters from Telecine itself, that they're magnetic, you can just simply take them out. And as you can see, there is actually no phone in there, but I'm gonna go now with my phone. And my phone have an urban case. This case is a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna use the JJC magnetic filter adapter with an magnetic SSD. I'm gonna plug all this in, and like all that is not enough, I'm also gonna get a microphone. At least I'm gonna just mount the receiver for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna connect it right there. And the only way now to mount this is on reverse, meaning that I have to, I'm gonna put the microphone out for now. I need to put everything in there with the screen facing away from me. Then I plug the microphone. As you can see, I got all in there, and it's holding up pretty well. I already tested out very good. And because I'm now blocking the screen, so basically I can have it like this, and when I see the screen, it's like I don't properly see the screen. I can simply just mount here a bracket, and then I can use a monitor. I do have the gimbal CP5 Lite monitor, I didn't bring it with me, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna use my Pixel 8, which is almost the same size, actually it's bigger, and I can have this as a monitor right there, so I can frame my shots, but also have an extra monitor here on the remote control itself. So it's not ideal for framing shots. I mean, if you're a professional, you might want something bigger and sharper, but it gives you a rough idea. You can still see a little bit of the screen, and if you have a monitor like I do, well, it's gonna be ideal. And yeah, it's like a really pro setup with microphone, shooting into an SSD, so you can shoot in ProRes 444 using Blackmagic, so you don't need to use the Hohem Choi app, and you can have any kind of filters. For example, I can use the filter from my professional camera. I'm gonna screw this on. These are 77mm filters, the same that I use on my Canon EOS R6 Mark II. And when I put the remote in here, this is how all looks like. It's really good, isn't it? By the way, I did all that while this is all locked. I'm gonna unlock it and turn it on, and you see that it's holding the weight, no issue whatsoever. Now it's on, you can see it's holding weight, no problem. It is a bit heavy now. I mean, this gimbal is already a little bit heavier than some other smartphone gimbals at 640 grams, but you have a payload of half kilogram, 500 grams, that's crazy. And you can see that it's really working. As a matter of fact, I do 3 times on the trigger, now it's selfie mode, now I can see the screen, you can see that everything is showing perfectly fine, and I can have my monitor here, so no matter how I'm using the gimbal, I can always have the monitor facing me with this bracket. By the way, this is a lip light bracket for smartphones. I highly recommend that one because it can swivel in all directions. So yeah, definitely a pro gimbal. But when it comes to tracking, you can also use the remote control. So for example, now I can be completely away from the gimbal, frame myself in the shot the way I want, and when I do the tracking now, I just double tap on the screen, and it's now tracking me. And the genius thing about the M7 is that I can actually frame myself before the tracking, and it keeps me in that part of the tracking. So for example, if I want to be on the left lower third, that's what it's going to track me the entire time, and I can just pause the tracking. So now I pause the tracking, I can walk away, and you see the camera is not following me. Now I come back, push again, and now it is tracking me, and as I get up, it will track me, and it's keeping me on the left third, actually the lower left third. And then I come back to the chair, and it's always keeping me on the exact same position. I can tap pause, and now I can use the joystick to reframe me to the right third if I want to, or I can have me pointing a little bit down, tilting up. I mean, it's really a pro gimbal with some pro features, but I believe this could be really good for people like me that do YouTube videos, and in more occasions, I need to film myself. Like me, in this case, I do have a cameraman, it's right behind the camera now, filming me. I have actually 3 cameras, that's what I have, 3 microphones right now. But there are times in which I only have 1 camera, my smartphone, and having something like this that I can frame myself, look exactly what I am. I can also have tracking in case I need to do something more complex. Like for example, now I can start the AI, and I can move here, and for example, show you the plant and say, wow, this is a tri plant. I want to say a beautiful plant, but I don't think so. And then back to my chair, or come closer here and look at the camera. And if I tap 3 times, it will completely stop tracking. Now, if I move away, that's it, I'm out of the frame. Two things I want to mention when using the AI tracking with the remote control. Number one is that you don't necessarily need to track humans. You can also track pets or objects. For example, it will be very useful for when tracking something like a moving car or a moving motorcycle, which otherwise were gonna be very difficult to do. Well, it's now a lot more easier. But something not as good is that the screen is so small and I have very fat fingers, so trying to pinpoint a very small subject on this tiny screen is not easy. And another thing that I want to remark is that the tracking when using the screen not as accurate as when I'm using the gestures. It works, but it's not that effective. Whenever you buy a gimbal, there are a few inherent features that you get with the gimbal itself, like for example, the ability to shoot a hyperlapse. Obviously, the Hohem can do that, but there are a few features that you might not have in some other gimbals. Like for example, we have a telescopic pole that can extend, either for vlogging or for filming yourself or for doing low-angle shots. We also do have a light in the same unit as the AI tracking. This is a CCT and full RGB light. And also have a lot of physical dials, like for example, focus dial. We have an A to B for doing automatic shots and for time lapses. We have a trigger and the whole operating system is very good. Not to mention that we also have a full touchscreen. Well, when the Hohem N6 came out into the market, I say that was the best smartphone gimbal in the world. Obviously the M7 is better. Keep in mind this is a pro gimbal, more aimed at professional filmmakers. While, for example, you have an option like the Hohem V3, which is a more like bloggers-oriented gimbal. You can save a lot of money by buying that. Also have AI tracking, have a telescopic pole. So, you know, it's depending on what you need. You might buy one gimbal or the other one, but without a doubt, this is by far the best smartphone gimbal in the market. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I do have some constructive criticism, and that is like, you know, nowadays, most people that film with an iPhone 15 Pro or higher, like an iPhone 16 Pro, will probably use an SSD to film in ProRes RAW. Not ProRes RAW, it's just ProRes, but still, you're gonna need to shoot most likely on a SSD, so on an external storage. And you can see this bracket here does not support an SSD. It was not designed to support an SSD. I can have the SSD and the filter adapters by mounting my phone the other way around. So it can take the weight, but it's not ideal because I can no longer see the screen. Then I need to mount a monitor here on the side. I mean, you can still do it, but it would be nice if Hohem would include some Sonos bracket adapter to mount seeker phones or phones that, well, indeed will have an SSD on the back of the phone. That would be ideal, or at least a way to mount an SSD somewhere in here. That would have been great, considering that this is 100% aimed at professionals. Another little constructive criticism is that the locks here, they look exactly the same here and here, but completely different in here. And that could be confusing for some people. And other than that, this gimbal is so close to perfection. I mean, it's just so good. I mean, I already mentioned that the screen is too small and it's hard to kind of pinpoint exactly your subject, but other than that, it's just so good. It's really hard to find problems with this gimbal, and I think I already found all of them. So, like I always say, with any Hohem gimbal that I review my channel, they all come very highly recommended. Definitely the best you can buy right now on the market. So yeah, link in the description down below. And if you have enjoyed this video somehow, you found it informational, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios, amigos.